I missed you.
Okay, we call this meeting to order of the Rochelle Park Land Use Board for July 16th, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. The Open Public Meetings Act, PL 1975, Chapter 231. According to the Open Public Meetings Act, this meeting of July 16, 2026 was published on the Township website on July 9, 2026. In addition, a copy of this notice is and has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the Township Clerk. Can everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. You can be seated. Gina, could you do a roll call?
Chairperson Warren,
Here.
Vice Chairman Coleman,
Yeah.
and Mayor Miller and Deputy Mayor are absent today. Chairperson, members of Food and White will also be absent today.
Okay.
Member Dudia,
Here.
Member Kandaira, here. Member Matson,
Here.
Member Muller, here. And alternate Zhang,
Yes.
and alternate Davies is also absent.
On the agenda next, it says discussion master plan. However, I do see members of the public here. Would the board be obliged to flip the discussion with the public portion on agenda items so we can accommodate the public that has come for a particular topic? And then we can revisit Mr. Burgess and the master plan. Motion, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, great. The microphone is available for the public portion, non-agenda items, so you please come to the mic with your name and address, and then please state your question or comment, and we will do our best to address it. Hi.
My name is Ron Gonzalez, 28 Lincoln Drive. The reason I'm here today is with regards to the new business going in on the address of 151 Route 17 South, my house kitchen. We have noticed that the door in the rear, the commercial door in the rear that was the garage has been taken off and the storefront has been put in. I want to know how was that approved without letting us know. My other question is, my thought that we have ordinance that we're not supposed to have a commercial entrance or a business in a residential street. That's my second, and another concern, for the past 3 days, their own van has been parking in the driveway on the grass advertising, and it's been standing there.
Where's that parked van? Is it on Lincoln Drive, or
I'm sorry?
is it on Lincoln? Yeah.
Right on Lincoln Drive, on the grass, not covering their entrance, because there's all glass now on the entrance.
And what does the van do? It just has like their name on it? It's like they're one of their vehicles?
Photographed, advertisement, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know if they're gonna put a sign, I don't know. Just want to know, and if you want to see how they looked, I can show you that. This is the way it was about a week and a half, and this is what they've done, and the entrance is in the front.
Right. Can you tell me this is on Lincoln Drive? I've driven past
That's
this
right on Lincoln
before.
Drive,
And what's this?
Right on Lincoln Drive.
Right on Lincoln Drive as well. Okay. Can we hang on to those, or do you have copies, or?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Is that okay? Okay, perfect. We're gonna hang on to those.
I have pictures today I can show you. I didn't print it out of when.
Sure.
Today, I went to the town, and it's been like that for 3 days. Now they moved it today. I don't know if somebody called. I don't know if they got it. I don't.
So they took these garage doors out and put these here.
Yeah. So just so you know, this is, as far as we know from other businesses, this was always like that.
Right.
And then
Yes.
receiving.
Yeah, I remember driving past it all the time, yeah.
Emergency door here. Now what they have done is, this is an entire storefront, and the
And the entrance is there.
Mhm.
Interesting. Okay. I could understand the frustration.
I have a question.
Yes.
Have you gone to the building department? What,
Yeah, nobody seems to know anything. They asked me today to send a email to James, one of the.
Dave Maria?
I have the information now.
Okay.
I went to the administrative office first. From there, they sent me to the building department.
So, Mr. Gonzalez, right? Just want you to understand, we definitely take this serious, right? So, I know from the clerk, Gina here, she's been in communication with the construction official about this. I think we're going to try to have the construction official visit the property. They should be producing the documentation here that says that they could do this. When Cabins to Go first came in years and years ago, which is what they're taking over this kitchen place now. Next door, I'm sorry. This was not an approved use to switch their entrance. I wish I could solve it tomorrow, but the issue is going to be the construction official visiting and either citing them and having them come in here for a variance or come in to prove that they have the documentation needed to use this entryway. But I know the wheels are in motion. I don't know how fast they'll move, but I'm glad you came here to put your concern on record. Ms. Kim, may I leave anything out about where we are in the process of this?
It is my understanding that several residents have visited and filed a request with my office, so we are going to be looking for records that maybe have given them authorization.
Excuse me?
Do you know what year?
I'm
It's a
sorry.
new business.
When I was on the board, we never okayed that. These are one of these guys that just feel like we're doing it.
I don't think we did.
I don't know what's going on in the building department. They would never approve that.
Yeah.
They just either did it by themselves, or that's what I'm saying. They just figured they wanted to do that, and they're not allowed. We can straighten this out.
Mr. Mondello, just your legal opinion here about this. Like, can the building department shut this down? Can it require them to not use this new entrance until they come to either get a variance approved or?
So if none of the prior approvals exist, sure, cease and desist, you can't use this entrance. Now, I'm sorry, I don't know anything about that application, I'm kind of in the dark, but I put the pieces together somewhat. But I have no idea whether or not they came before the zoning board, got a variance, I don't.
If they did, the burden of proof is going to be on them to produce that document.
You're not allowed to come out onto the street,
Right.
they just wouldn't.
I know, this is not something I think any board would have approved of, no matter what, who sat up here, to be honest with you. This seems like just a business owner who is going to do whatever he or she wants to do. The mechanism we have in place is to do a cease and desist, which I'll speak with the township administrator tomorrow morning, Samantha, and I will urge her to work with the construction official to visit the property and to put a temporary stop to what they're using it for until they can either produce documentation or they want to come and apply and come in front of the board where you would all be notified and you'd get to come and speak on your behalf as a property owner, et cetera, which is the proper way to do it. Thank you very much.
What's on the other side? What's on the Route 17 side? Like, what's the name?
Is there storefront, my house?
Is my kitchen something?
My house, kitchen,
Yeah.
something like that, it's right next to Cabins to
It
Go.
used to be that Yaz place, whatever it was, yeah.
That comes and goes in
Yeah,
that one place. It never does well. They probably have trouble getting in and out.
Yeah,
They
that's
will
it.
come onto the side street.
Yeah,
and-
So it's a new business, brand new?
Yeah.
Well, still not, they still don't have a CO.
See, this is when tenants.
they don't have a CO yet, so,
Because they don't have.
right. And this is where tenant review comes into play, I think, sometimes, where I know it slows things down for a new business to open up, but to be honest with you, when a business rotates out of that place as often as that location, I think a tenant review is totally appropriate. But we're going to push the ball further tomorrow morning. I'll send a couple emails to the township administrator, the construction official. We should really get this stopped, though. Mr. Mattson, you have something?
No, I know we've done the roundabout with the building department up here and what our purview is.
Right.
But, I mean, just for the record, I mean, this is definitely a quality of life issue.
Yeah.
And it's lack of code enforcement to know that like 2 weeks went by and nobody noticed. It's not like we live in this big city
Right.
where,
They did notice because the young lady in the building department told us that the building inspector went there and said it's legal. And all we can do is send an email to him, and he has responded to the email this last week.
All right, I appreciate your comments. Thank you very much. Yeah. I'm assuming you're all here for the Lincoln Drive? Okay. I mean, that's fine, yeah.
My name is Joseph Devon.
See, they would have their dress park.
Like I said, we had contact with them, no one's responded. Vinnie Whitaker from 45 right across the street, he came down this morning. They told there's other inquiry to find out how the variance or the zoning might have been changed. But you guys have something in your zoning on general provisions that states that that cannot be used within 25 feet of residential, dwelling.
Right.
So it's right there in the town zoning, okay? The woman who this morning said that it's legal to have it for deliveries, but they have a loading dock on the south side of the building. So why would you have a loading dock on the south side of the building and use the Lincoln Drive side
Right.
for deliveries?
Well, and especially since they literally changed the entire look of the entrance from bay doors, which would be suitable for delivery, to now doors you have to open to walk into,
So
so.
gentleman who owned the property,
Hmm.
before went to gas and whoever,
Yeah.
before Joe, he lived there for about 30, 40 years. He was even told back then, couldn't use it for deliveries of any sort. He had a little door in the middle of that wooden door, and he just carried it for personal use.
What was Yaz?
They never opened. It was
Yeah.
a furniture company from out of the country. I think they had problems. COVID came and went, and whatever.
Yeah, it never did become anything.
As we're going back and forth. So, yeah, I'm just concerned that, on their employees, where are they going to park? After the department property is no room. So we went through this issue with Acura and Kevin, they've been good neighbors. They'd be like,
Yes.
you guys, the town told them, you can't
Yeah.
park here. And they won't.
Yeah.
So, my concern is, of course, customers, if that's what it is. Small deliveries, I don't know if he wants to use 17 as inconvenient, but that's not the point.
The fact is, it's a commercial building in a residential area, and there are restrictions, and they have to understand that. They bought the place or renting the place knowing that it's in a residential neighborhood. They could have easily spoke to Cabins to Go and Acura to find out how they dealt with things, but obviously they've chosen not to.
So Cabins to Go has stated to, one of the neighbors that they're not happy with the way they're doing things here. They're not
Yeah.
happy by the end of the year because they think they might go there
Yeah.
and advertise it. But the last thing I'll say is this. Many of you know well, so I'm just going to speak.
That's fine.
45 right across the street. Last Saturday afternoon, they were in there working, and he's having his house redone, he's not living there. They even food delivery left on his front steps, and then they came across the street, took the food in the back.
They used his address to the food delivery.
So
Yeah,
it's crazy stuff.
that is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the construction officials not getting back at you, but that's why we came here today.
I appreciate you telling us that.
But, give us an answer, but they said it's legal, and they want to know, like, it's legal to do what?
Correct.
That's something that's concerned, like, what are you going to use it for?
Okay.
Do you
No,
guys have a meeting every month?
we do. But we can communicate with the construction official
No,
whenever,
I'm
so.
just concerned that if, God forbid, if some meeting next month doesn't happen, they open it up, it's already the damage is done.
We definitely have a meeting next month, I will tell you that. Yes, so, but we're hoping to have an answer before that meeting. So, like I said, tomorrow, I'll send an email to Samantha, and Gina will see Samantha tomorrow. We'll contact the construction official. I think we should just at least get some type of cease and desist, and then we can figure out what the heck is going on there. And see what kind of documentation this person has. I don't think they have anything, but I have to give them the benefit of the doubt to show it to us.
What's the best way for us to find out what's going on?
What is a good way? I mean, I know they're not getting answers from they're not getting answers from the construction official's office.
We can follow up with Ms. Carfield tomorrow.
Okay.
And then I do have, if the gentleman would like to leave.
If you want to leave your email or your phone number, we can, okay.
That would be great.
Yes, you can take that.
We will provide
Yeah, then we
that.
can contact you.
Yes.
And then I'm assuming you'll share it with, with Russ.
We all get along.
Does Russ even check his email? I don't even know.
He's a busy man.
I see him twice a week.
No?
Now, is there,
Yeah, you can come up.
yeah, just for an open discussion. How you doing? Bob, I do the 24th, that's why.
Hey,
Now,
Tom.
is there like a way, because they park their construction vehicles right there, we already know that the road where people go through stop
Yep.
signs and everything like that, so I don't know if there's something they can park in their own parking lot while they do construction on that building?
So, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. We have no authority to enforce. We're here to either grant variances or site plan, et cetera, et cetera. It's really the building department, and if the building department sees that things are being violated, he can make them change the doors again, go back to the way it was before. But we have no enforcement authority.
If you see cars parked in a way you think is illegal, et cetera, you can also call the police department to have them come around, check. They would be the group to enforce any kind of parking issues, whether it's too close to a stop sign over there, or it's in the right, whatever if they're parking their commercial vehicles there, there's probably an enforcement mechanism via the police if you see that. But Mr. Mondell is correct. We cannot put a stop to it. However, we can try to facilitate what you're asking us to do through the channels that we have available to us. And I know you guys have gotten no answer from that office. We will try a couple of other ways to get an answer from that office. That's what we could do as the land use board up here.
Okay.
Yeah, but we will take this very seriously and do the next steps first thing tomorrow morning, and then hopefully have something in the next 24, 48 hours. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Is there anyone else for the public portion non-agenda items?
And what about to be repetitive, so I'm not going to waste anybody else.
But I will note that you were here, Mr. DeFranco, and that you also have a concern about it as well. So thank you for that. Seeing none, I'm going to ask for a motion to close the public portion, non-agenda items. Second? Second. Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Thank you very much for coming, gentlemen, and sharing with us. Appreciate it. I'll put that in a minute. Moving on to, is the air conditioning on in here? Moving on to our discussion, we have Mr. Burgess here from Burgess Associates about the master plan. I'm so thrilled we're moving forward with this, and Mr. Burgess has his report here for us tonight. Joe?
Yes.
It's all you.
I will be brief and to the point.
Okay.
Pleased to be able to say that if you have our timeline in front of you.
Oh, I don't. I left it in my
well,
other...
We've done most of the blue things.
Love it.
A lot of the background information has already been completed. We prepared the lot line base map, and we completed our existing land use survey. We do have to go back out in the field to double check a couple things.
I know you were at the township meeting a week ago, or a week ago, or
a week ago
about
I will
visiting.
get into that in a moment as well.
Great.
All the environmental mapping, I do believe, is complete. I just have to double check that. And we've also completed all the socioeconomic demographic information. The one thing we haven't done in that list in the first section is the preparation of the summary report for you. I'm actually going away on vacation after next week. When I come back, I'll have that report completed.
When do you think the subcommittee would start to meet with you about some of the items on, via the timeline?
I will be back towards the end of August,
Okay.
So maybe early September.
Okay. And those would be on Zoom, right?
However you want to do it.
Okay. Yeah, I think Zoom would be appropriate.
That would be great.
Question for you, Mr. Unless you were...
No, there's a couple of interesting things that have popped up since we put together our initial discussion and our proposal. There was a case that came down this past week. I'm sure Mr. Mandello is familiar with it, the Monarch Communities, the Montville Zoning Board, which has changed the nature of some of the things we will have to do with the master plan. It is an appellate division case. Purely coincidentally, we are the planners in Montville, and we were actively involved in this matter before the Zoning Board of Adjustment.
Is this the inherently beneficial case, right? Yes.
Yeah. The case was about an inherently beneficial use, and historically, for any inherently beneficial use, whether it's affordable housing, In this instance, it was age-restricted housing and the like. You were always obligated to address the four-part SECA test, which you may have heard of. The critical item is their fourth point, where it says, in the end of the analysis, you have to analyze by balancing the positive and the negative criteria of the statute and determine on balance if there's a substantial detriment to the public good. That phrasing ignored what's typically called the second prong of the negative criteria, which talks about whether there's a substantial impairment to the intent of the master plan. And in many cases, applicants were not addressing that second prong because they assumed that the SECA test, since it only addressed the first prong, you didn't have to address the second.
That was a Supreme Court case, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did I say appellate? I'm sorry.
I thought it was
The Supreme Court,
and they flipped it. Now you have to determine that first.
Right.
Whether or not it affects the master plan. If it does, goodbye.
Right. And what's interesting, though, is the case also said that municipalities, when they prepare new master plans, should be examining every zone in the municipality and make comment about the issue of whether or not a variety of inherently beneficial uses would be appropriate in that zone or not. That's a difficult task because, there's thousands of lots and hundreds of lots in any one zone conceivably, but we'll figure that out as we go along in the preparation of your master plan. What was interesting in that particular case, as a side note, for those, specifically Ron, as the planners were reviewing the application, we had raised the question to the applicant about that second prong of the criteria, and they said, we don't have to. And if they had only said one sentence on that issue, we would not have this case. But here we are. So
very quickly, this may or may not help you. It's an unpublished case, but it came out of Hanover. And the judge had ruled, and then it's an unpublished appellate division case, but the judge had ruled that these clean and sober living houses can go in every residential zone.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we're having the issue in Kinnelon. I don't know how it's going to play out.
Coincidentally with the planners there, and that big a hot button item in Hanover.
Do you think this will detrimentally affect our master plan, or are we in the right spot because we
I
just
think you're
started?
in the perfect spot because you're preparing your new master plan so you can address this issue.
Okay.
And also the sober living issue as well. But basically, as Ron said, sober living, the way it's structured in the legislation, should be considered in the context of another single-family dwelling.
Right.
You can make certain conditions, but you have very limited ability to impose conditions.
No longer bloodline, et cetera, et cetera.
No.
And interesting enough, there was legislation years ago to make it an inherently beneficial use, but that went south.
Yeah. So, last week I was with the governing body, and they asked that we take a look at the entire Passaic Avenue corridor.
Yes.
And Rochelle Avenue corridors. And assess, initially, just make a preliminary determination as to what areas may be appropriate to look into for the purposes of having an area need designation on those properties. And then once we make that decision, we will then have individual contracts to do, whichever ones we select.
There's another area too. I'm sure it was mentioned, but there's Overlook. If you were to, if you know where the Dairy Queen is in town,
Yes.
that you've probably seen, there's this.
Around.
Yes,
Mhm.
that also should have a look at as an area because that I think has just been left to be dilapidated. So, when we say Rochelle Ave and West Passaic, I think there's some little side blocks around
There's
it.
a little flexibility.
I just want to make
with
sure
the direction.
we're not just leaving, areas unattended as part of the study, so that they could be incorporated into whatever zoning stuff we do with the master
Yeah.
plan. Did you get a chance to go look at the areas yet, or no?
Not yet.
Okay.
This only happened at the end of last week. One of the things we'll be doing is, pursuing those area need studies, whichever ones the governing body selects. They will then direct you to actually do the study, and we will prepare a report and then you make the recommendations to the governing body as to whether or not it should be designated. It's only a
Designated
recommendation.
as
They get
what?
to make the choice.
Designated as
An area in
need of redevelopment,
or
okay.
not. And they get to make the final decision irrespective of what your recommendation is. But if they go against your recommendation, it's just a different voting procedure that they have to follow.
Okay.
So we're going to follow both the master plan and that area need process on two separate tracks, but we're going to be doing it at the same time to move things along.
And up here, I have a question or comment for Joe.
I just have one question. Joe, should we take into consideration what's going on in Paramus? That's mini city that they're putting up over there when we look at Passaic Street?
You're talking about by Garden State Plaza?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Every time, I just drove by it again coming here today, and it's going to be overwhelming.
Have you seen the conceptual drawings on it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's,
I forget how many hundreds of units, but it's massive.
yeah. And I think a medical building and, but should we take that into consideration when we start to look at what we're doing here?
Yes, you are obligated to do so. The statute provides that when you're doing this master plan, one of the things that we have to look at and report as part of our master plan is looking at all the adjoining municipalities and what's happening at your border and comment on how it affects you. So we'll be doing that.
Okay.
Right.
And obviously, the big issue will be traffic. So,
That is going to be a giant issue, and we'll talk more about that as we get deeper into the master plan about ways to alleviate traffic in this town, which is something that's a passion of mine, only because we really are cut-through town to get to Paramus and other major shopping areas. But we could, talk further when we start meeting as subcommittees.
what I hope to do, when we get to that point, I'm going to try to get a copy of the traffic report that was submitted for that project, so I can at least report back to you in terms of the potential volumes that they anticipated would be generated in the area.
Ms. Muller?
Well, just offhand, we went to all those meetings, and there's no traffic problems, there's no environmental problems. Perfect. It's just-
I was there representing other applicants sometimes when that case was going on. I don't remember people from Rochelle Park always being
There's a couple of
there.
us that went and listened,
Yeah.
and their big problem was they were worried that a closet was going to be a bedroom, and that held up the whole thing. It was an environmental issue.
It never is.
They had a sliding door instead of.
That is so typical, though.
But-
You can't see the forest for the trees sometimes, so.
Yeah, but no flooding for us, it's fine. I just know I went to I listened to the last township committee, meeting, and you also talked about areas, you kind of compared the areas in need of rehabilitation versus redevelopment and the benefits, so.
Yes.
So you'll be looking at I think you kind of figured out you'd be doing redevelopment in areas or.
Yes, it's the area in need of redevelopment gives you a lot more control over the process, and what health properties can redevelop. Areas in need of rehabilitation is simply that. You're trying to rehabilitate existing structures in the municipality. So it doesn't really change the nature of things too much.
Is there a nuclear button to restart the entire?
Well,
No.
There is a nuclear button, because in the context of area in need, you could do either a non-condemnation area in need or a condemnation area in need. That's the nuclear button.
Oh, okay.
Because you could then condemn property, and the developers, the property owners really don't have too much of a say, because the way the legislation is worded, you just have to figure out what the value of the property is and what you're going to pay for it.
Interesting. I'm curious to see if you'll come back with any kind of recommendation to go that route.
One last question. I don't know if this would pertain to it. I've always considered Harvey and Pleasant, the two streets that go through to this development, making them dead ends. So this way there is no traffic from this mini city that would come through to Rochelle Park. They would actually have to go up to either Rochelle Avenue or down to the McCallie building. It would eliminate any cut-through access, congesting our streets.
Oh, hi. I thought you weren't coming today. You told us you weren't coming.
Make it today.
No, that was the other guy.
Oh, was? Okay. You're over here.
Okay, where you want to go?
Are we sure it's there? Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I know Joe Burgess for
Oh, good.
30 years.
At least 3 weeks.
I didn't have white hair when I met Joe. Okay, that was a long time ago.
All right. All right. Any other questions up here before I open to the public for Mr. Burgess? All right, can I get a motion to open to the public for master plan?
Motion.
And I'll second that. All those in favor? Aye. Microphone is open for comments or questions about Mr. Burgess's report on the master plan. You can come up to the microphone whenever you'd like.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Dom.
Mr. Coleman took the words out of my mouth about the dead end, and then I was thinking maybe we should make that see what the county or whatever can make that a one-way going to the mall.
I love a one-way.
Right there, right here. You go up and make the left.
Plaza Way?
No, it's not Plaza
No.
Way, it's a cut through.
Oh, Fairfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've lived in this town all
Oh, yeah.
all the roads.
Is it,
Only know mine.
was it fair? I want to get this right on my.
Fairfield.
Fairfield?
Yeah, I believe it's
Yes.
Fairfield.
It's Fairfield that I was,
I think it would be smart to make it a one-way going to the mall instead of two ways where they leave the mall, and I think that would cut down.
down in Fairfield is what I was thinking was a dead end. So this
So
way,
it would be that one, and those two down by.
On Harvey.
yeah. So this way, you either get to the mall or that mini city off of Passaic Street, off of Rochelle Avenue, or down at McCallie Building, the back side of Rochelle Park. So
Yeah,
it
just
doesn't,
cut off the whole mall.
yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In the perfect world, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I think it would relieve some pressure from traffic from that area. All right.
Thank you very much, Tom.
I'm glad I came.
There you go. You learned something new, right? Anyone else for Mr. Burgess? Oh, we've got, hi, Mr. Verhassel.
Barbara Hassel, 44 Place, Mr. Burgess. County, thank you for being our eyes and ears on projects going around. I was at all the meetings with everyone that went, and only 3 of us. And the big to-do was the sliding door over a large closet, which is really a 3rd bedroom. But if anyone wants to go for a fun ride, or bicycle ride, go down Columbus Way, which is the old bridle path into the property. And there was previously scheduled a separate development that was going to be located there, which never got an approval, which now appears to be something that wasn't discussed at the parameter meeting that's going up. That's what all the construction is going on right now, which was all wetlands, which Christine will remember the gentleman who was in charge of their floodwater planning was our engineer, which I questioned at that time. Is there a conflict of interest where he's telling us there's no problem, and
Right.
telling them he's going to improve everything,
Right.
and there's going to be no problem? And the town, at that time, the town meeting, one of the few that I went to, so there would be no conflict of interest, and he sat in that chair and told us there'd be no conflict. But I'm disappointed in that, the way that's proceeding. But I have another story later when
Well, you might as well do it now, just because we did the general part before. That's okay, Mr. Verhassel. It was 5:30, the meeting tonight, yes. Mr. Burgess had to, we had to change it for him, so.
On a bicycle.
Yes.
Through the mess down there. I went through 53, I trespassed and went to 53 Central.
Okay.
Where you guys had a large discussion about oil tanks
Yes.
above ground, and it was banned.
Correct.
It's not banned. The rear of the property, I would call it 111 Central. Behind there, on their property, is a above ground oil tank.
I know that they purchased and brought the tank in before they got the approval, or were expecting to get the approval. I don't think it's hooked up.
Better not.
Yeah. But I know that, I know it was brought in and brought onto the property during their whole presentation, but I do believe it is not hooked up, but we'll definitely look into that, but I know that that was physically brought in as if it was going to be approved. So it might still be on the property to just sit there?
That may very well
Yeah.
be the case.
Okay, but it's good to look into.
And,
The board denied that
Yes.
application,
well, I was,
and there was no appeal, so.
yeah,
Right.
well, waiting for that.
Yeah.
No, 45 days is long.
Oh, well, sometimes these developers have different ideas of what things can be done in the past about their future. I was wondering if I could ask Mr. Mondello a question about something I've never run into before. It may or may not have a direct impact on this board's function, but serendipitously it might.
And I may or may not have an answer.
I appreciate that. I was never aware of the term fireman exempt. And it was brought up about some hiring practices that some employees benefit from. I was on the school board for many years, and I've been going to these meetings here for even longer, and I never heard the term come up. How does that affect an employee's status? Is it similar to a union tenure thing, that they can't be fired or changed in station?
So I'm sitting here not as the borough attorney, but as, so I have no idea. And I would not want to shoot from the hip on something like that that has nothing to do with
I
this.
thought it might have something to do with your experience in the past.
I appreciate it, yeah.
Well, thank you.
That's like maybe something to ask the township attorney at a town meeting.
Absolutely denies to speak about it. That's why I figured I would go down.
Okay. I have heard this term recently myself, Mr. Verhassel, so I know between the both of us, we could probably find out
Okay.
more.
And finally, I sent some press word from the New Jersey Supreme
I
Court.
mean, we talked about it just a few minutes ago, about the, it does affect our master plan, not in a way that's going to be detrimental, but the good part is because we're in the middle of creating the new one, we can incorporate this new decision from the Supreme Court. Mr. Burgess, you want to speak on just that for Mr. Verhassel quickly?
It does it, I don't want to take up board's time. It's only one particular case that I'm concerned with, where a developer came in with a specific item that is specifically mentioned in the Supreme Court's decision. Does that impact them or not? Or is this one of those situations, Mr. Warren explained that, where a developer is exempt because they were in litigation prior to?
I'm not sure which case you're referring to in this municipality.
Is it the child care center, Mr. Verhassel?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not familiar with this issue.
It's with across the street, the Tolford property.
So I'm sorry, I'm struggling to really understand the question. That issue is now before the appellate division, and that case, I should say.
This might be the question. I know we're involved in litigation.
Yes.
With this particular issue, child care center. Child care center was specifically mentioned as needing more review than what was previously.
Okay, I think I know where you're going.
What the appellate court case is based on, as though they were immune from everything by a closer look by land use and planning board.
Is this the same case Joe was talking about?
Yeah, essentially what's happened, daycare centers are specifically identified in the municipal land use law as an inherently beneficial use. And this new case that came down talks specifically about how, for our concern, that when municipalities now prepare master plans, they have to identify in all the zones in their community, what inherently beneficial uses may or may not be appropriate in each individual zone. So it just adds another step of work in the process that never existed before.
The issue before the appellate division is much more narrow than that. It has to do with whether or not a redevelopment plan supersedes the inherently beneficial use of a child care center. We'll see.
Okay, well, that's.
The lower
The
court,
answer to my big question is, even though this case was decided and discussed by the Supreme Court, New Jersey Supreme Court, there's an appellate court now that may have a different say about it.
it's a different issue. The appellate court will decide whether or not a redevelopment plan supersedes that statute that Joe just referred to in the municipal land use law. And if they say, indeed, the redevelopment plan supersedes, we win, as we did in the lower court.
Not being an attorney, not knowing
Yeah,
anything
sure.
about the case,
Yeah.
other than the fact that it's about a,
Inherently beneficial.
reading the Supreme Court case, I believe it says any of those issues, and there's 6 or 7 of them specifically named, come back.
So I think I know what you're saying. So if they say no, the child care center is permitted there, it's coming back here, not as a use variance, but as site plan.
Right. That may be what I read, and hopefully it gets to come back again.
But not as a use variance.
Okay. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thanks, Mr. Verhassel.
It's too hot out there.
It is very hot. The sky's on fire tonight. Mr. Kingma?
I'm gonna get a triple play.
Okay, this is about Mr. Burgess's, right, okay.
Now it's on.
Okay.
Okay, so we talked about Pleasant Way a little while ago. Just want everybody to keep in mind that either most, if not all, of Plaza Way is a private driveway and in Rochelle Park. Both sides. It's not the center line. If it were a street, normally you would see it on a map or something, a zoning map, as CL, Essex Street, for example, center line. But if you look at an historic tax map in the Paramus website, this will have it there. You see the notation 1922 PL, northern border trolley. They don't put a center line in the middle of trolley tracks. So they put it either at the northern boundary or southern. The northern boundary gives the trolley line area to Rochelle Park, but it's a private driveway. And just to reinforce that it's in Rochelle Park, you'll see telephone poles on each side of that driveway because they had to run the trolley. Public service owns those poles. They, more often than not, have a 2 or 3 letter code at the end of the pole number. Take a look over there and you'll see RP on both sides of the roadway, the driveway. The other end of town, if you go to Rochelle Ave and travel as far south as you can to the end of the township and get to the intersection by Essex Street, you'll see that there's something in the on our township website that says there will be a meeting next week that can be viewed from the computer discussing redoing or improving that intersection and that bridge that's right near there that crosses the Saddle River. That's a terrible intersection, and if they ever really want to 317, they have to improve that first, otherwise there'll be no getting from point A to point B.
Mr. Kingma, about the master plan, It sounds like we're going somewhere else.
Oh, he meant,
Oh,
took my mic off. He mentioned Rochelle Ave.
oh, okay.
And people might say, well, you can't even get through there, and especially down at that section, when they're stopped going south on Rochelle Ave, it's all the way over to the tracks and whatever. Well, people will be able to get through that intersection more easily if they ever achieve an improvement there. That was my point.
Okay.
I do try to tell you that.
Yeah,
No, I know, sometimes I'm agreeable.
Is there anything else from Mr. Burgess you have about the master plan?
And no, I watched last week's meeting too, or what was it, the last meeting where he spoke to, and watched carefully.
Great.
It was a nice presentation.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you very much, Mr.
You bet.
Kigma. Okay, seeing no other members of the public, I'll make a motion to close, yes.
Can I just have one other question? Can people
Can
object?
I close the public first, and then
Oh,
you
I'm
ask your
sorry,
question?
I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion to close the public portion for the master plan. Second, all's in favor?
Aye.
Ms. Muller?
Can people come forward and like object to, I guess they can when you have the meeting, up to, parts of, like, we're thinking of, just say Fairfield Avenue, and can people come and say, we don't want that one way, or close that one end, or can it be illegal? Can it be illegal to do that if we do that? Like, can the plaza say no, or can the person that owns both sides of that street come in and have a legal,
Anyone can always object to something.
but,
In my experience is that they do.
I mean, can we just, overlook their, I mean,
Yeah, you're not obligated to listen to every member of the public. Sometimes they say things that are right on point, and sometimes they don't. And you as board members have to make the decision as to what is the appropriate course of action to take. And then if somebody wants to sue, they'll do that.
okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on to the agenda, I have the minutes from the May 21st meeting. Are there any questions or comments before we make the approval? Can I get a motion?
Make a motion.
All right, second. All right, let's do a roll call.
Chairperson Warren?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Coleman?
Yes.
Member Lydia?
Yes.
Member Kandara?
Yes.
Member Matson?
Yes.
Member Muller?
Yes.
Member Gonzalez?
Yes.
And Member Davies?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. For bills, I have one bill for tonight, July 16, 2026, from Ron Mondello for attendance at tonight's meeting for $500. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Thank you. Second? Roll call.
Chairperson Warren?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Coleman?
Yes.
Member Lydia?
Yes.
Member Kandara?
Yes.
Member Matson?
Yes.
Member Muller?
Yes.
Member Gonzalez?
Yes.
Member Davies?
Yes.
Thank you. And that's for you. There are no memorializations. Any new business up here that any members of the board have to bring up, or seeing none? We'll move on to meeting adjourning at 6:19. Meeting adjourned. Next meeting is, what's that? Oh, can I have a motion for a second for adjournment?
Second.
Thank you. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Sorry, I always forget to do the motion for that. Next meeting is Thursday, August 20th at 6 PM. Thank you.
Thank